Justin, we understand that every game has the same meaning, but is this game maybe a better measuring stick for you guys because it's a team that's maybe comparable to what you'll see in the conference?
Yeah, they're all a measuring stick somehow, some way. This is going to be a very challenging game. We know that. Really good football team. They've won a lot. They're really good in all three phases. And the size, their lines, their big skill players is going to be different than what we've seen. And I know our guys are excited. We will need to play our best game thus far, and that's what we're working on, and confident that we can do that, but that's what it's going to take. So got a ton of respect for them, and really excited about this week of practice.
Justin, how well or not well do you know P.J. Fleck?
I don't know him well. Yeah, we competed against Coach Fleck when I was at Wisconsin. One time, I think, in the Cotton Bowl. They had a great season. It's before he went to Minnesota, but that's it.
Okay.
This will probably be the first game where your team experiences significant adversity. How do you expect your team to respond through it all?
Well, there's been adversity in the previous games as well. It's just a matter of what kind and how much. Adversity is a part of every single game. And I think you've probably heard me say this before. You go into the game with a plan, but the plan is it never goes according to plan. So how do you respond to that adversity? That's what's key. And it's, maybe it's a given player, maybe it's one side of the ball, maybe it's the entire team, and you got to attack that adversity when it shows up and play to gain momentum. And so there will be swings in the game. That's part of football. There's momentum swings, there's adversity, and so playing through that and attacking that is key to any game.
So to that point, how have you seen your team respond through these first two games?
Well, yeah, I think they've done a good job. We haven't played as well as we could have thus far, and that's not unique. There's always going to be more we can do. I thought last week, for example, especially on offense in the first half, we just were out of rhythm, and for a number of different reasons, but played into rhythm. And guys managed the locker room really well at halftime. Some of the small adjustments that we had, and some guys maybe calmed themselves down a little bit so we could go out and play better football.
How has Tron Grizel developed himself from a walk-on to one of your go-to guys?
Yeah, really hard-working guy. As you mentioned, he came here as a walk-on years ago, and he just works at it. It's just every single day. He's attacked workouts, meetings, practice, and he has earned his way every step of the way. And so I'm really proud of Tron and what he's done here and who he is as a person and as a teammate.
Justin, when you look back at the film in the last couple of days, were there any things that were better than you thought they might be, and were there any things that were a bigger concern than you thought at the time?
From the previous game? Yeah. There's always kind of what you see on game day, then you go really dig into the video, you watch it multiple times, you watch every player and every play, and I would say, defensively, the biggest thing was just our rush integrity. We had really good pass rushes individually. However, we weren't coordinated in our pass rush enough, and that's what led to their quarterback making plays with his feet. And that was really the extent of kind of what they did. And so that is something we have to be much better at. I thought the decision-making on defense, we had 3 penalties, 2 on defense and 1 on special teams, 15-yard variety penalties, was poor. That's emotional control. We have to do a better job there. Offensively, I think we were just probably trying to do a little bit too much as opposed to just going out there and playing the plays one at a time and not trying to score 21 points on one play. Just go out and win the next play. And when we kind of calmed down and slowed down a little bit, we did that much better. So it wasn't a want-to issue. It was just a matter of knowing yourself, what you need to do to perform well, and getting that under control.
Justin, I've noticed Derek Wilcox has not been on your depth chart the past couple of weeks. Is he available this week?
Yeah, he would. We're hopeful. He's getting back out there, so we're hopeful that he can get in the mix this weekend. Yeah,
and he would be certainly in the mix.
He would play. Yeah, if he's available, he would play. Yeah.
Who's going to start in Cade's spot in the first half?
You'll see. You'll see.
Kind of just getting into injuries. You don't have to announce this week or next week, but starting Boston College, you do.
Yes.
You don't have a choice in those decisions, but if you did, would you prefer that teams be open like the NFL theoretically is, or would you rather have it teams
If
not
it were
say?
up to me, we wouldn't say anything about it ever.
Okay.
It just makes it, I think it's better for the player. I mean, there's all kinds of issues with that, just with the players, HIPAA, their futures. I also understand the fans want to know, and I get that. I really do. I understand the fans want to know. And then the elephant in the room is gambling. And so people want to know, and then that's why I just, personally, I would like it if we didn't have to talk about it at all, or weren't asked to talk about it at all. I understand why it's a factor, because people are going to want to get information somehow, some way. And so, yeah, when we start doing that in league play, we'll have our list and present it to you guys, and that'll be it.
Can you talk about your feelings on the proposed transfer portal window change?
Yeah, one window. Yeah, I think one window is better than two for college football. Would you like to see it? How long should it be open? Again, it's they didn't necessarily come to me and say, "Hey, what do you want here? We're going to do what you want." Yeah, they didn't do that. Yeah.
Let's say you had a vote.
Yeah. Earlier is probably better. You can make an argument based on your admissions timelines, when you could admit people. That's a big factor that probably doesn't get talked enough, because not all the schools are the same, and when they could admit players in the winter.
If it's going to be late, does that sort of render spring ball almost useless, in the sense that
if it was late, then you'd want to
guys that weren't on the team anymore?
If it's late, then I think you need to be able to move spring ball, or you turn it into OTA model in May and June. But again, the academic calendar has to be considered, and there's not a uniform academic calendar, and so that matters for people. So earlier is better. I think this is probably better for the masses, and some schools it's perfect for them. Some it's not great. Some it's somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I think one is good, and earlier is probably better. Yeah.
What have you seen from the Minnesota QB, and how much different is it for a true freshman QB as opposed to a redshirt freshman?
Yeah, that's a great question. Depends on the person. I think it's such a unique transition, high school to college. Some guys and where they come from, what their capacity is to learn, how they've come up, and you never really know until they're here. And so he's a really good player. He can throw the ball down the field. He's big, and he's tough to get down. So he does a really good job. And more experience always helps. How different is it? It's just hard to, I don't know if I could give you a calculation on that, but some guys it translates really quickly. Jaron, the college game is translated very quickly. And that, how do you know that in recruiting? I don't know that you do. People will probably tell you they have this test, they have this way that they can find out if a guy's going to translate or not and how quick. I don't buy that. I think until they're on the team, until they're experiencing new offense, playing against different speed, college, they got a lot on their plate. It's just, you never really know. Yeah.
Guys, let's go to Matt real quick. Matt, go ahead on the phone.
Yeah, Luke led you guys in tackles on Saturday, and obviously you don't know what you have with someone like that who's new. But, until they hit the field, but what have you thought about his first two games as a linebacker?
Really, yeah, I think he's doing a really good job. I'm really proud of Luke, where he was a year ago to where he is now. He's made a big jump, in not just on the field, just everywhere, being a college football player. So he's started strong. I think he's got a really bright future, and excited to see what he can do next.
Justin, I'm sure you saw Jake Tonja's big moment Sunday. What did you think about that?
Awesome.
What was your reaction? And also, are you impressed that he's persevered the way he has?
It doesn't surprise me. It's funny you bring that up, because our team meeting this morning, we showed part of his interview after the game. And what he talked about in his interview was he's been bouncing around, scratching and clawing, and he prepares every week to play, and he hasn't played a lot. And so he mentioned that he takes, service team reps or scout team reps at that level, and he's always working on his craft. And we showed our team that today, and he's been doing that for years. He did that here for his first couple of years. I mean, he walked on from Los Gatos, made his way here, put on weight, and just over time made himself a very good football player. He's a great guy. He works really hard. He's a great teammate. So it was really exciting to see him make that play. We were all high-fiving in the office, and then we showed his his post-game interview about what his process has been just to get to that point, to have an opportunity, and when that opportunity came up, he made the most of it. It's awesome.
What'd you make of Craig and Teddy getting some starts and big-time snaps for the Patriots and Ravens to start the NFL season?
And I'm not overly surprised. I'm super excited for them. I mean, Craig was here for a long time. He knows football. All the reports we've gotten was he picked everything up really quickly. He's a total professional, and the same for Teddy. Teddy was here a short time, but he got here in June, and his ability to process information, how he conducted himself, meetings and practice, I mean, he was a pro. And so when guys act like that when they're in college, that usually translates really quickly. It's those two guys, none of the guys here have been guys that you got to figure out, are they going to show up to meetings? Are they going to be ready to play? Or where are they at mentally? Those guys were always locked in. And I could go down the list. We talk about Elijah and Cam and all these other guys. That's just how they are. And so I'm really excited for them. It's a big deal to start as a rookie in the NFL, and we're also really proud of them, but honestly not overly surprised.
Kind of a bigger picture
Final question for Coach.
Bigger picture on that. Not only, I mean, Teddy, Jalen Hawkins had an interception.
Yeah.
Cam Bynum had an interception. Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good game.
That was awesome.
When you get a game, when you have a weekend like that with Cal alums, how much does that affect the program?
Well, it certainly helps. We want to celebrate all those guys, and some of those guys have been here, just as recent as last year. Other guys were here a few years ago. But we have in our offices, we got this screen. It's one of the biggest screens I've ever seen, and you can fit how many of our games on there. So on Sundays, as we're working, kind of walking through the hall, you'll kind of stop and get the highlights, and watching Jalen get a pick and watching Aaron do his thing. I mean, it's just incredible to watch him play. I mean, that guy, that right arm and that head he's got, it's unbelievable. And so, we're all excited for him. And then Teddy's playing in the night game, and Craig, we're one of the guys who kind of update the staff text thread. Craig just had a tackle for a loss. It's just really cool. So it's exciting for us, and then it's great for the program. I mean, it's really good for the program. So we're wishing those guys nothing but the most success this year, and we got a bunch of other guys playing too, and I'm sure they're going to do great things.
We'll wrap it up with
quick,
Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Can you imagine what this week feels like for Bastion Swinney getting to play against Minnesota?
I can imagine, but I think it'd be better if you asked him. Yeah, I can imagine. It's a big deal, being from there, and his family's there, his brother's out here, so I'll be eager to hear what he has to say to you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. Yep.